Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, Rebecca L. Norrington, and I am the world's only happiness specialist. That's right. It's me. That's right. I'm crowning myself. You know the interesting thing about growth, about personal growth? I don't know when I've gotten an award for it. I don't remember getting an Emmy, a Tony, an Oscar. I don't remember getting an award. I don't remember having a parade. I don't remember any of that. Yeah, this personal growth, this spiritual growth, this expanding consciousness, living, being aware. They're not going to hand out any plaques, my dear audience. They're not going to hand out any awards, not going to be given a parade, but let me tell you, it is I think it's the most fulfilling, the most satisfying. When you make a commitment, and you look in the mirror and you say, you know what, my happiness, my peace is my responsibility, and you know that, and you practice that. And you don't point the fingers on anything that's happening, including the coronavirus, including being quarantined, including whatever's going on in the world. It all comes back to that person in the mirror. Isn't that empowering? Well, some people would say yes, and some people would say no. Some people will start running away. Oh, no, not the mirror. No, not the mirror. Not me. No, anything but the mirror. But that is the only way for lasting, satisfying, foundational peace. When I say happiness, listen, when I talk about happiness, and thank you, my listeners. Hey, shout out to CR out there and his wonderful wife, Romeo and Juliet, I like to call them. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Hold on. Oh, the definition of happiness. You know, I don't know how the numbers are growing. And one of the things about being happy, one of the things about wanting, or not wanting, but really committing to this happiness is not paying attention to numbers. Not paying attention to numbers, not giving numbers any power. That's talking about how many people are listening to the show, how much money is in my bank account, how old am I? How many? It's never about numbers. In fact, when you pay attention to numbers and when you put power, when you focus on a number and you give numbers power to either make you feel good or feel bad, honey, I'm gonna say that personally, honey. Just get ready to just walk right into a wall. It is a recipe for a disaster. It is a recipe that is going to subtract from your peace every single time. Paying attention to a number, numbers, how many are listening, how many are watching, how much do I have in my bank account, all of it. That's just a little tip. I wanted to throw that out there. The number to call in, and you can speak with me live, the number to call in if you want to ask a question or comment is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. Shout out to R Sharp out there. I have a few people in the queue. You want to speak with me, just press the number 1. Or you can listen. You know, so let me give you my definition of happiness. And, again, like I said, the show is growing, and don't ask me how because I am a one-man band over here, and marketing is not my strong suit. So people are finding me organically. During the week I get, well, this person starts following you, this person's following you. I don't know how the hell you guys are finding me, but thank you. My definition of happiness is to be able to be at peace, regardless of what's happening and regardless of what's not happening. The ability to be at peace, the ability to focus on being content, having that vibration of content. In other words, you're in the middle of the ocean, there are rough seas, and all you feel, all you are vibrating is a sense of calmness, is a sense of balance, is a sense of trust, is a surrendering to the storm. You know, the storm, it's not about fighting the storm. It's about surrendering to the storm. You know if you try to fight what's going on. You know when you try to fight the present moment and you try to resist the present moment. You know how that feels. It doesn't feel too good. So it's really about surrendering, letting go, and and not resisting what's going on. And the other thing is not looking at what's going on in the world and placing a judgment on it, a judgment of good, a judgment of bad. And that's where I lose a lot of people because we're programmed to judge, oh, this is good. Oh, this is bad. And in week 6 quarantine, it's 6 for me. I don't even know. I'm just keeping up with the numbers of the show. It's week 6. Now, this is the first week where I did not plan anything. And when I say anything, I mean not one thing. So from someone from the outside looking in, there may be a judgment of, what a waste of time. Let me tell you something. Wasting time, which is the topic of today's show, wasting time, thank goodness. When you put a judgment on, or when you think, or when you believe that you are wasting time, I'll tell you what you are doing. What you are doing is subtracting from your happiness. What you are doing is subtracting from your peace because there is no such thing as wasting time. Oh, the ego will tell you, your ego will tell you you're wasting time. The ego will tell you, did I say ego or eagle? Anyway, the ego will tell you that that wasting time is you're not being productive. Oh, I've embraced the label of lazy. Oh, I've embraced it. That's right. I need an Oscar, an Emmy, a Tony for being lazy. But I wasn't always ready to embrace the title of just doing nothing unless I'm inspired. And that is the key. Inspired action feels totally different, and I'm talking about a vibration. Feels totally different than forcing. Oh, I have to. Our favorite word, should. I should be doing something. Well, you know that I don't even use that word. The word should is deleted from my vocabulary. It's never what I should do. It's what I'm inspired to do. And I'm telling you, this week, I'm going to get to the people in the queue in just a minute. Hold on. This week, I was inspired to do absolutely nothing. Did I meet my friends fishing? I think I drove and I met them fishing maybe for about 2 hours. I sat with them and chatted. But there were days don't tell anybody. Don't tell one person. But there were days when I didn't even get out of my pajamas. Now, the key is, can you do nothing, and I mean nothing, and feel good about it? I used to do nothing and feel bad about it. Oh, gosh, and then label myself and judge myself and criticize myself. But when you practice letting go and knowing that everything that's happening is in perfect order and there's nothing to criticize self over, you're not inspired. Can you trust that inspiration will come when it's time to come? I was looking at, let me get to my calls, and give me 3 minutes. I was looking at, and sometimes I say that and people hang up, but that's okay. I was looking at a National Geographic show yesterday, and I was watching this beaver, busy as a beaver. And this beaver started his work. First he's got to gnaw through a tree. The tree has to fall. He's got to gnaw through the branches. Do you know how long it takes a beaver to put a dam together? It takes months. But the beaver is always working and always doing something. And so the practice is when I talk about wanting to, and let me tell you something. I know this happiness is a desire because everybody's looking for it. You're looking for it now. You can't find it in the sports. Now you can't find it in a crowd getting together, whatever, because we've been forced to not have any activities, at least big groups. You know what I'm talking about, big groups. Can you still find? Can you be at peace? Can you feel relaxed? Can you feel balanced when nothing is going on, where there's no plans, when there's no activities planned? And that's the key, being able to be at peace regardless of what's happening. Let me get to my first caller. I think this is Robert. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. Is this Robert?
Good morning, Happiness Queen.
I forget your number, but I remember the area code. Yes, area code, yes. Welcome, Robert Sharp, to the show. And just share with the audience you have a talk show. I don't know how many times it's on during the week, but you can share with my audience about your talk show very quickly. I'll give you 30 seconds. Share with me about your show.
Sure. Bringing inspiration to Earth. All spirituality, self-help, environmental awareness, and children, and biteradio.me. So how's that?
Nice. Love it. And so Robert and I met, I don't know how many years ago. We've never met in person, but there is a connection. I can't explain it. I can't define it, but there is a connection. We're soulmates from way across the United States. But anyway, you called in, and so do you have a question or you have a comment about wasting time, or can you add to what I said as far as there's no such thing as wasting time?
No, I agree with you that there is. No, I actually agree with you that I feel also that there is no wasting time, because that's what we've been programmed, like when you refer to the word programmed to believe, unless we're doing something, it's wasting time. And just one other word play is when you mentioned being lazy, that you kind of embraced being lazy. And I think lazy is another one of those words too that is kind of carries with it some baggage, so program baggage. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that was just the one thing that if someone should feel that way, that quote lazy way, or being told that they're being lazy, just kind of they can just do a mental shift away from that and recognize that what they're doing is right and proper, and there's much to be gained in solitude and quiet.
Right, but the interesting thing, Robert, is I'm finding is that there are so many people, I would say the majority of people are not used to being okay, doing nothing by themselves, because this is a world of their activities. There's, you've got to be doing something. But let me get back to this label of lazy and my second book, Program for Unhappiness, which is, who knows when that's going to get out, but hopefully sometime this year. One of the things that subtracts from your happiness is labeling anything. So the word lazy is a program with a little negative. I mean, I get it, negativity, there's something wrong. So there's really, for me, words, and I don't know if we've had this specific debate before, but words.
Well, words have no power?
Yes. Words. How about this?
I know.
When you allow words to have power, get ready to have your vibration, get ready to have something do. You have to shift. You have to shift to this, shift to that. When words have power. And again, the question is, who's more powerful? The person that is moved, that can be affected, that can be up and down just by words, or the person that is not? And the universe, there are no power. Words are not powerful in the universe. So that's my practice.
Yes, and I understand what you're saying. No. But the one thing, the one thing is that when you said allow words to affect you. So to me, it's you're right. The word in and of itself doesn't have power. It is what we choose to, how we choose to respond to words. That is kind of the key. But the fact that one can elicit a response is, I'm still not in the words have no power camp. I'm not in that camp. I believe that they do have, they have the power to inspire, and it's as a result of other people's reactions. Correct, but that's a dynamic that you can't deny, I think.
Well, what I can, so again, who's more powerful? A person that is moved by words, and I believe a person that is more powerful. Anyway, okay. How about this? The words are powerful because they were programmed to be powerful. You start with a child that's just born, and I don't care what words you want to use. You give them you sit them there. They're in the playpen. They're 6 months old, a year old, and you start spewing out the worst words you can. You're horrible. You're ugly. You racist comments. All of it, and the child is going to look at you like you're nuts, and could care less about the words that you're using. These are man-made letters that people put together, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, you were programmed, brainwashed, conditioned to give them power. This word is good. This word is bad. This word will inspire me. This word will make me feel this way. Words, you say words can inspire. Words can inspire in the moment. I'm talking about something that's lasting. So I get what you're saying. I really do, because the majority of the people believe words are powerful, and that's one of my biggest. Oh my God, I can't wait for this chapter to come out, especially about being offended. I'm offended because of what you say to me. I'm offended because of the words that you use. Honey, trust me. You can use any word. You can say any word, but you can. But it is a practice. It is the practice. It is the practice of wanting to be at peace, and so the practice is not allowing words to be powerful. Can you imagine the people would have their Go ahead.
I understand. I was going to ask you, have you ever had to choose your words carefully?
Definitely, and I'll tell you why. Because 98% of the population, 98% of the population are affected by words. So, of course I have, because my practice is keeping the peace regardless. Yes.
Okay, my point is, and like you say, 98% of the population are affected by words. So in order to be powerful, like you talk about powerful, but in order to be empowered, then I think that being able to accurately and effectively and positively communicate to that 98% through the use of words is a wonderful trait.
Well, hold on a second. Because if I'm speaking in front of an audience, the audience, it's not about the audience whether I'm going to hurt their feelings or what. Well, I'm going to say something that's going to offend them. I'm going to have to express my. You know what really surprised me, and I can say it on my show because it's my show. Is Tony Robbins? You know Tony Robbins, the great motivator. You know that in person he uses the word fuck. I've heard him fucking this fuck. I mean, in person he uses that word. Did you know that?
No, and
you didn't know that?
Why is that important? No.
What?
But I mean, you're placing a value on that word.
Well, what I'm saying is he's expressing himself freely.
Right.
And so when I'm in front of an audience, trust me, I'm going to be expressing myself freely. And it's really, and whoever is going to be offended or who's not going to like it or whatever it is, it's going to be on them. I can't.
Right. Of course it is. And I've always said it's the response, the person's response, not necessarily the words being used, the tone or delivery, but it's the response of the individual. And if you want to, my opinion, if you want to, again, be empowered or feel effective in making some, life accomplishments, and communicating with that 98%, there may be, 40% that are offended by some things I say, but that's fine. At least, I will communicate as best as I can what I want to say. So, anyway, it kind of just goes back to us. I think there is a place for words in our world.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And as usual, you and I are so cool together that regardless of your beliefs and regardless of my beliefs, what I do know is what's true for me is true for me, and you the same thing. But we still love each other, and we still accept each other, and we still I just love it, and it's so easy and so light, and I just love it, and I just love you, and thank you so much for contributing. I really do appreciate you, Robert. I really do.
Well, I'm happy to call in, and I appreciate you. Love you too, and it's fun. We have a fun repartee, and like you say, it's light, and we could use a lot of that. So, thank you for taking my call.
And let me tell you, I say the same thing that I say to my son. You're wrong.
and I probably like he will let you think that.
well, usually 6 months later, or a year later, or 2 years later. But anyway, I love you, Robert Sharp. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. Right. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I love this.
Great.
And he's he's been so helpful with my show and with this podcast. And I like to mention that he's responsible for getting me on iHeartRadio. I mean, there's just so many helpful things that you've done, and the book that he has out. I don't know. I just have the words cannot express, and that's the other thing. This is what I found. This is what I've also found out. I don't care if you're speaking the same language. Robert and I were talking the same language, English. I was brought up in a totally different household where certain words mean certain things to certain people, or certain words get programmed to mean certain things to other people. I could use a word and it would be totally disrespectful to one family. I could use that same word, oh my goodness. I remember when I was younger, there was a guy that was just a friend of mine, and he told me, listen, in my house, I was not allowed to use any curse words. I was not allowed to use any four-letter words. We couldn't use any words. We couldn't use damn, shit, fuck, none of those words. But I had uncles that used the words, and I'm getting off the topic just for a second, though. And my father would always tell me what horrible people they were because they cursed. So I grew up thinking that people that used expletives were really not good people. Kind of the same as people that go to jail are not good people. I'm just telling you my own programming. And come to find out that just wasn't true. Some people are born in an environment where four-letter words are okay and they're used all the time. In fact, my friend told me, he says, hey, I'm sorry for all you people out there, but if I pronounce motherfucker wrong, I got in trouble. So there was a way to pronounce it correctly. Can you believe that? So the point is this. The words and your response to your words is a program. You were programmed to respond a certain way. You were programmed to be offended. You were programmed to think that a word meant a certain thing. That's all I'm saying. When you recognize we're not suffering. We're not suffering because of what's happening to us. We're suffering and we're bothered by the program that we think is happening. It's the programming that is causing the suffering, not the words themselves. Because you put the words on a piece of paper, they're just words. Are you kidding me? Words, symbols, flags, all of it. So I'm not. This is my practice. Anyway, let's get back to wasting time. As far as wasting time, so we talked about. Let's see. Oh, okay. We know happiness is important because. Who isn't looking for it, especially now? Who isn't searching for it? Who isn't seeking it? Who doesn't want it? Wanting to be happy, wanting to feel at peace, wanting to be at ease. We know this is important because I remember sharing with you a study that a hospice nurse did a study on her patients that were dying. I think she said 2 to 3 weeks left to live, and she asked them their biggest regret. And one of their regrets was, I wish I had let myself be happier. These are people that are dying, and one of their 5 regrets is that I wish I would have been happier. And all I'm doing on this show is sharing with you because happiness is a practice skill. There is a formula to it. Just like Einstein's formula, the theory of relativity, there is a formula for happiness. There is a formula. And one of the things that subtracts, hold on, I got a whole list. One of the things that subtracts from happiness is thinking that or believing that you are wasting time. There is an infinite amount of time in the universe. And, I use the term universe. Some people say God, source, spirit, higher power. I use the term universe. There is an infinite amount of time. But we were all programmed. Look at the clock. Look at a calendar. What time is it? How much time do I have? And I'm saying that judgment of wasting time, subtract from your peace, will subtract from your happiness every single time. Can you imagine getting rid of even just that? Listen, if you could pick and choose, if you can pick maybe 5 5 things to practice this week. No. Let me make it less. 5, maybe once a week practice. Practice trusting that there is no such thing as wasting time. And you have all the time in the world. You will have as much time as you need. You will always have as much time as you need. Time is an illusion. In the universe, there is no such thing as time. Things just happen. And in fact, there's so many different dimensions at the same time. I mean, we're just in this small little dimension. What about the other dimension? And don't get me started with dimensions. But there's things that are happening simultaneously. Time is a man-made program illusion, and there's no such thing as wasting it. Now, doesn't that feel good if you buy into that? There's nothing I can do to waste time. Always go into nature. Look out at nature. I'm looking at the middle of the forest here. I had some they were geese in the backyard now. Wah, 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 wah. They're a little louder than ducks. Wah, wah. And there's no animals walking around in nature with a watch on. But we're all programmed. The ego will tell us we're wasting time, not doing enough. And I'm here to tell you that every moment, you're thinking about the future. What are you going to do in the future? You're robbing yourself of the present moment. This other thing about what subtracts from happiness, is thinking words are powerful. Because if words are powerful, I'm just saying, then that means they have the power to change, shift your vibration. Good word, bad word, a word that you like, a word that offends you. Listen, can you imagine not being offended? Do you know how many people are offended by things these days? So many people being offended. And I look at it as, wow. So if you're offended now, you're going to be offended in the future. If this offends you, are you ever going to get over? If you have buttons that can be pushed, are you ever going to elevate, grow beyond your buttons? And the other thing is taking anything personally. This is an impersonal world, impersonal universe. Nothing happens that's personal. Things evolve. You experience things because you were supposed to experience it. That takes a lot of trust. That takes a lot of letting go of control, letting go of that I have the power to. The practice is, what is your priority? This earth, this planet has a destiny like all of us. We all have a destiny and we're here living it out. And the trust comes from, do you believe that everything is happening for a reason? Everything is happening everything is happening for the good. Everything is happening to serve us. This quarantine thing, oh, God, the people that are suffering the most are the people that are programmed the most. And let me scratch that, because that's a judgment. Scratch all of that. The people that are suffering the most are the people, I'll tell you, that do not practice making peace a number one priority, surrendering to the moment, humbling the ego, acceptance of all, living consciously, being okay with uncertainty. That's a big one. Being okay with uncertainty, that's a practice. Practice allowing, letting go. Practice choosing your perspective. Practice choosing your focus. Staying out of everybody else's business. Oh, that's a tough one. because I can look out and see. I can find fault with everybody out there. Everybody. But see, finding fault or making a judgment about anyone else is none of my business. It's the universe's business. And guess what's even more important? It's subtracting from my own peace. Because I can find something wrong. Well, I used to find something wrong with everybody. Are you kidding? Especially with that person in the mirror. Because when you find fault with other people, know that it's really about you. Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, that's a hard one to take. It's a hard one to swallow. Whatever you find in someone else, you own it. Oh, no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I'm not like them. I'm not like them. No, I'm not. I hate to be the deliverer of news like that. Whatever you find fault in anyone else, I don't care what label you want to put on them, whatever label it is, that's your label. You know how much that hurts? So I had to make sure hold on a second. Okay, I had to turn that off. I had to make sure that I practiced acceptance of others. Acceptance. You think that's easy? I moved to a state, here I'm from California, I moved to a state where these people are active hunters. Hunters, skinners, killing, all of it. I mean, big animals. Shoot them in the head. And I never did get it. I never did. You're a hunter. How could you? But I'm telling you, the peace comes from acceptance. Acceptance of these people and I say these people, and what they're doing. And I've met the nicest people, the kindest people, but that's one of the things that they do. They grew up hunting. They grew up hunting animals in the forest, stalking for weeks and weeks. They go into the forest and hunt. What? And I had to let all of those judgments go. Not for them, for me. Acceptance of others, acceptance of this life, acceptance of what's going on. Now, listen, I'm not talking about I see somebody getting beat up, I see a child getting hurt, and I'm just going to accept this little kid's getting a beating. I just have to accept it and keep walking. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as an adult, looking at other people and finding fault with anyone else. Well, that was a tough practice for me, but it brings a lot of peace when you get it. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, listen. The practice is coming right now because we're in the middle of a storm, right? We're in the middle of a storm, quarantine, the world's turned upside down. NFL, they did the draft. Come on. Everybody's scrambling around how to get this done from inside their house. So we've all been turned upside down, shaken of all of the quote-unquote normalcy. So it's finding a new normal. Can you find peace of the new normal? And that's the ability to adapt and let go and be okay with uncertainty. What's that? That's another practice. Happiness is a practice skill. Wasting time, there's no such thing. Let me share with you what I wrote this week. Because, listen, just because I'm a happiness specialist, don't think I'm running around here skipping through the tulips and just singing, dilly, 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 dilly. One of my friends from California, she was telling me about some song, Dilly, Dilly, Dilly and the Lavender. I don't know what the hell, but I like Dilly, Dilly now. Dilly, Dilly, Dilly. Don't think I'm over here dilly, dillying. I have my challenges and experiences, too. What I've discovered is, and I had a conversation with the universe this week, because, the road, listen, it's like a roller coaster. This life is a roller coaster of ups and downs and emotions and feelings and happenings and not happenings. And the practice is rejoice quickly and recover quickly. When you rejoice quickly and you recover quickly, it keeps you in the present moment. The rejoicing that we all can feel, oh, this is great. Oh, this happened. Yay, let's celebrate. Yay. Make the celebration quick, because life is all about all moments, not just the moments that feel great, all of the moments, including the moments that, oh, you know what, universe, if I was designing this, I would have left that out of the stew. I would have left that ingredient out of the stew, universe. Yeah, you know, the mother gives the house to the handyman. I would have left that out, universe. I would not have added that to my life of my stew, the Rebecca Norrington stew. I would have left that item out. I would have left a lot of things out. But the truth is, that experience, as uncomfortable, I'm going to even use the word painful, uncomfortable, they're all labels. They're all labels. I'm saying it very lightly. As bad as it felt, spit me out into a different place, a different person, a different level of consciousness. And I wrote it down, bumpy roads. I wrote this down because I said, why, universe? Why? Why are you forcing me to feel this? And the universe asked me, said, you know, if we gave you, because the universe knows me, if we gave you $500 million, that's the figure I used. I'm not going to use $1 billion. I said $500 million. $500 million. The universe is asking me this question. Would you accept that $500 million and be the person you were last year, or the person you were 5 years ago, or the person you were 10 years ago, but last year? Would you want to go back and be that person? $500 million. I had to say no. I had to turn it down. And that's the passion, and that's the passion. That's the commitment to growth, being different, opening yourself to different new beliefs. Beliefs, when I say beliefs, truths that take you to another level of consciousness, another level of peace. Can you imagine all of the things that I wanted to say and or do to the attorney and the handyman when this first happened? Can you imagine? Oh, don't think I'm over here, oh, yes, let's love them up. No, come on. I have mob mentality. I'm ready to hire somebody to rough them up, like in the movies. And guess what? I can sit and have lunch with both of them now with no problem. See? Letting go, trusting that everything happens for a reason, everything happens for my growth and my betterment. I would give anything. I wouldn't take it. And I'm on this ride, and I'm on this ride for life. I talked to my son. He says, Mom, does it never end? Yeah, it ends when you're dead. The ride ends when it's over. And this is it. This is why I'm able to practice and accepting all of it, accepting the bumps in the road. This is why. The universe said this is why. Are you okay with that, or do you want your plan? They actually pushed it in my face. Hold on a second. I got out of this. I have to go back. There we are. The universe actually threw that in my face. Because we can design it the way you want it, or do you want our plan? You want your plan, your ego's plan, or do you want our plan? There was so much growth and acceptance and trust and letting go and surrendering in that last year and a half that I've ever experienced. And yes, it was concentrated, and yes, there were days where, when I first found out, it was about 12 days, 14 days of just spiraling down into the abyss. And now it is the funniest story ever. Come on. When I'm on stage and I'm talking to people, hey, guess what happened to me? My mother died and left the house to the handyman. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Where's my rim shot? That's the other thing. Humor. I know. Can you find humor in everything? And if you say you can't, if you tell me that there's certain things that just aren't funny, that's what comedians do. That's what the good comedians do. They say they find humor in all of it. Some of them take it on stage, and then we got a lot of people that are offended. But that offended is anyway. I'm getting off on a tangent, but humor, and I that's another practice of dropping your shoulders and just being light. How light are you? Can you laugh at anything? Tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. This is so off and so bad and so wrong and so incorrect. But I've been at a funeral service, and I said to myself, don't tell anybody. I'm telling you, audience, if you let anybody know this, I'm going to be in big trouble, especially with this title of happiness specialist. I was at a funeral. It was maybe a couple years ago, and everybody's very, very reserved, and just sitting quietly. I said to myself, I wonder if I just started screaming. I wonder what would happen if I just started screaming out loud. Hey, he's not dead. I saw him last week. Now, of course it wouldn't be funny to anybody. I thought it was humor. And and that's what I'm saying. Are you able to be light about anything? Now, Robert asked me a question about talking to other people. I can't share that with everyone. I can't even believe I shared it with my audience. Hopefully only 2 people listened this week. But it's about what is your practice? Are you, the other, serious. This is serious and this is important. This is serious, this is important. That's another vibration that subtracts from your happiness. You can keep doing the same things you're doing, but when you have that vibration of this is serious and this is important, you're subtracting from your peace. And with all of that said, wasting time does not exist. No such thing. We have an infinite amount of time. Offending anyone, words are powerful. I choose to practice that they're not. And I can walk into any room and anyone can say anything to me or about me using the words, and I'm cool with it. Trust me, I used to go out in the world and someone said, hey, you look tired. It would ruin my day. I look tired. No. Anyway, back to back. Here we go. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Oh, I got to put this out on my my Facebook page too. This Tuesday at 9 o'clock. DM me if you want the code. I am teaching a 35-minute because this is a test. 35-minute foam roller class from the middle of the room at my house. It's all test. You can, even if you're listening this long, you can DM me Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to, it's about 35 minutes, because 40 minutes, it's a free Zoom. And anything after that, you have to pay for it. So I'm going to see how many people are going to be interested in taking a foam roller class with me. Tuesday, Thursday, starting this Tuesday, 9 a.m. DM me for the I should have had it already, for the Zoom link, but I don't have it yet. Okay, website, RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington. My Instagram handle is RealitySpirituality. My YouTube channel, I know I've got a few videos out there. Of course, I need to update that, but not inspired yet. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. My second book, Program for Unhappiness, will be out, let's do it this year. Universe, can you help me with that, please? Universe, can you please help me get inspired to do that? I want you to remember who you are. You are always changing. You're always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, here with your host, Rebecca L. Norrington. I am available for workshops, seminars. Now they have to be virtual, right? Virtual, yes. Virtual? Yes. Seminars, workshops. Contact me at info@RebeccaNorrington.com. Thank you for listening. You've listened to Reality Spirituality. Be conscious. Live a conscious life. Be conscious. Make your decisions. When you make a decision, think about it before. Practice thinking about what you are going to say before you say it. And do you have an agenda? And what is your agenda? All agendas subtract from happiness, by the way. My agenda right now is just to share. Whether you agree with me, you don't agree with me, I'm just up here sharing what I learned sharing what I learned that keeps me at peace regardless of a pandemic. Thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality. Yay, yay.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Oh, now we getting real. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now.